What's going on, everybody? Happy Tuesday. Welcome to this week's edition of the Hot Seat. I am your hostess with the mostest, P. Coffee Brown, with my honored co host, Taylor May Speaks in the building. So, as you guys are coming in, tapping in, tuning in, and getting all plugged in and situated, go ahead and start to share. Go ahead, start sharing. These algorithms are very different now, so we got to go out here and let the people know that we alive and well on planet Earth, like it used to be. Taylor, you just go live and everybody be in the building, but not anymore, unfortunately. They always switching the algorithm and doing something. So I'm just letting other people know that we are here. Yes. Yes. So I'm doing that now and getting us all situated. So, anywho, hi Taylor. How was
Hey,
your day?
I am fantastic. How are you?
You know what? I'm peachy king. I'm peachy. Peachy. I'm ready to talk about this topic though.
Absolutely. I'm excited.
Good evening, everybody. So, welcome into all of our people from all over the place: YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter. We're in Clubhouse space as well in our new house. So, we got our house in Clubhouse. Hey,
What's
so we
up?
are all over the place. If you guys are tapping in, tuning in with us, go ahead and share. Let other people know that you're here in the building with us so they can know that we're live. So we're now officially back in Clubhouse. For a long time, we had stopped doing the shows in Clubhouse. Schedule conflicts got kind of crazy, so we couldn't get everything harmonized and synchronized. But now we are good to go, and we're everywhere. Next step is to be on Twitter, not Twitter, but TikTok simultaneously, so we can be in all these different places connected to everybody. So as you're coming in, go ahead and share, click that SHARE button, let other people know you're in the building, and we're going to get this thing popping. So, Taylor, it's so much controversy around this topic, like so much controversy.
Yes.
So, let's go ahead and reveal the topic for tonight. When should we introduce our person to the family? Controversy is crazy about this. Now, depending on what age group we're in, it's kind of irrelevant,
Absolutely.
honest with you. So if I'm almost 50 years young. So Taylor, you supposed to say coffee. That was your time to say coffee. You look good to be almost 50.
Coffee, you look amazing. Girl, you almost 50? Wow, you look amazing to be almost 50 years old. I thought you were about maybe 27.
That didn't work right, but okay, moving on. It really sound good initially, but now that it was like
I was
moving on.
I was about
So when it comes to meeting the family,
yeah.
there's crazy philosophies about it. Should I not, when should I, how should I, in what environment should I, and so on and so forth. It's so many different variations of and schools of thought on this when it comes to that. So I brought in the age concept because when we get older, we kind of really don't care what our family thinks. Like if you don't like
True.
Taylor, who cares? I mean, I'm 99 years old. I think if I choose somebody, I chose them. The end. I think we get out of the frame of mind to have so many outside influences engaged in our decision for our person versus when we're younger and we feel like we're going to be scrutinized if we do, and we're going to be scrutinized if we don't. So we may as well do and bring them around and kind of see how the family feels. But I want to give a couple of recommendations on how to execute this introducing your person to the family idea. So one of the things, Taylor, and you can correct me if I'm off kilter with this, but one of the things that I think when it comes to introducing your person is I don't think it's a good idea to do it at family events. I think it should be in an intimate space where there's less judgment and criticism about the person because everybody's gonna have their opinion about the person that you're connecting to, and Oh, I don't know, honey. Oh, I don't, girl. I don't. Oh, did you see how short he was? Did you see? Girl, he looked like he broke. What, girl? Girl, listen. When he was talking to Aunt Kathy, honey, I was like, oh, he's not real articulate at all. So you want to kind of keep the scrutiny down by having them in an intimate environment. Like maybe you can go, initially to your parents' house and have your person to tag along, just for a nice kind of like some coffee and just a little conversation so we can connect with the person before we start having them around everybody in the family, because somebody gonna have something to say about your last person that came to the family function, about something that happened. Girl, I heard that. Or you can have a situation to pop off like the movie Jumping the Broom, Taylor,
Absolutely.
where that was just not smart, to
No, it
where
was.
I haven't met your mom and them at all. And we talking about we getting on the day we getting on the weekend of our wedding. Now you want to bring mama? That is a huge problem. So Taylor, where's the middle ground in all this? When is a good time? And where? I think the intimate setting is a good place, but I could be wrong.
100%. I mean, it's all perspective, right? And I think that it's people's comfort zone. Like you said, at a certain age, we don't care, right?
Right.
It's this is who I'm talking to. This is my friend. And it is either you take it or leave it. But I think that if you want to still invite them around your family, to do a soft rollout, I call it a soft rollout. I think, like you said, Coffee, a family reunion, it's a hard rollout. That's going to be memorable, right? Because it's your family. And usually, you bring people that means something to you, that close to your family. It's a family reunion. These are people that you haven't seen in years. These are, and keep in mind, it's a memorable moment. It's a
Exactly.
memorable moment. The next time you have that family reunion, your aunties, your uncles, your cousins is going to be expecting to see that person there. And sometimes maybe your relationship didn't work out for whatever reason. It doesn't have to be a bad thing. Maybe you guys just had a conversation and it was just not, the same direction that you wanted to go. You guys decided to walk away. And then now a next family reunion roll out. Two things is going to happen. Either you're not going to be with anyone, right? And then they're going to ask you or inquire, where is so and so? Or you might bring somebody else, and that will be a conversation in itself, right? But I want to get to the soft rollout. I think birthdays is a soft rollout, and here's the reason why. Usually at a birthday, all your friends is coming.
Right.
You're going to have male friends that come to support you on your birthday too. Your
True.
family's not going to know if this is your significant other or this is just a friend that's supporting you. So I think when it comes to birthdays, I think that's a better way to introduce your guy friend. You don't even have to introduce it as my man, right? A matter of fact, you could just introduce them as the person, the name, and that's it, because other friends is coming to your birthday to celebrate your day, right? So your family is not going to think, oh, that's your man, because maybe your other male friend is coming and maybe your other two friends and she's going to bring her man. And so your family is not going to know who's who. But when it comes to a family reunion, let me tell you something, especially if you got a father that's still alive, okay? You know how it is at that family reunion when everybody get around that table and start praying. And let me tell you something, it can be an uncomfortable setting for that man that's there at your family reunion because, and oh my goodness, I think I'm getting ahead of myself because look, I got some other things that I want to talk about. If we're going to stick on that family reunion,
Ooh.
Coffee, I got some other things that I want to talk about because, oh my God, it's very important, y'all. If you bring your man or the guy that you're seeing to your family reunion, to leave him in any section of that place by himself because they're going to corner him. It's
It's not
just
gonna be safe. It's not safe.
it's not going to be safe. You have to literally be with him every step of the way and don't leave him by himself, because you know family
Yes.
and fellas get together. It's different from a birthday party. Family reunion, the guys get together and the women get together, and when those men get together, especially you got brothers and your
Woo,
father, there's going to be loads of question. At a birthday, it's
girl.
pretty different. Anyway, that's all I got to say for now.
Listen. First of all, when you said don't leave your person unattended, whatever you do, don't leave said person at as prey for your people.
Absolutely.
PREY. Don't leave your person as PREY for your people. I love that you said that, because it is sometimes when we have our person and they, actually come and they decide they want to participate and they want to kick it and hang out and everything. And it can get ugly and it can get bad. It can get ugly. Excuse me. It can get bad. Um, and it can get to the point where that person feels like a fish out of water.
Oh
You know
my.
what I mean? So the person can feel depending on, and then but I think it depends on how your people are with people. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you got one of those families who is pretty open-minded and everybody is cool, that you can bring anybody and they receptive of everybody, then you may be okay with leaving your person, you know. Lisa said it's not safe for any man or woman.
No, it's
She's
facts.
probably right. However, there are some families who are extremely welcoming. They're just welcoming people.
Yes.
And they don't have a lot of hangups about Jack or Jim or Bill or Larry. They just like people. And so because they just like people, they don't really care. They like, oh, hey, how you doing? It's nice to meet you, blah, 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 blah. But then you have other family that just is nitpicky, and every time you turn around they got something to say. They meet your people and they like, oh, well, I don't know about him because he was standing there and I was and it's always some kind of chaos or confusion. Or you can have one of those families that don't say anything and the person has no idea how to communicate with them. Have you seen those kind of families, Taylor, where you bring your person and they ain't got nothing, they don't say nothing at all, not hey, how you doing? Not, they just sitting there looking at the person like they lunch meat or something.
No, 100%. And it takes, like I said, it depends on that person's character, right? What I mean by that is, if you have a person that is outgoing and that's charismatic and it could strike up a conversation, it doesn't matter, right? I mean, I've been in those situations where I've been invited out to Christmas, to Thanksgiving dinner, because maybe, my family is at a distance, and so I'm not doing nothing and I might not have no family here, right? So I've been invited by women, and guys, right, over to their place for Thanksgiving dinner, right? So, I mean, it doesn't mean that, if a woman invited me, I'm her man, right? And matter of fact, and a lot of times, the woman would kind of share that with their mother or what have you, right? I'm bringing a guest over because
Hmm.
they don't have anybody here for Thanksgiving, right? And so
Hmm.
it's not it's almost like they take me in as family at that point, right? Then for the woman to bring me there and no one knows, and then it's like, because if no one knows, everyone's going to assume, and that's just how life is, right? If when people think of family, they think of, you bringing a man to your family, like
Hmm.
that's like the next level of getting married, right? So it's like, I'm introducing you to my uncle who might be, crazy. I'm introducing to my aunt that she don't hold no water, she tell it like it is, you know
But you know what? Nowadays, though, Taylor, while you on that vein, a lot of people connect their person to their family, but they're not looking to get married.
True. No, true. That's true. I think if you want to say that was old school way of
Now it's still some of us that's like that though, because I don't bring nobody around my family unless it's like this is him. Oh,
yeah, but I mean, if I was hungry and it's Thanksgiving, I could come over your place and have some
yeah,
food.
you can come eat. I'll be like, y'all, this Taylor, this everybody.
But see, here's the thing though. This is the difference, Coffee, is the fact that in your mind, there's nothing between me and you. But if you knew there was something between me and you, then you might have been hesitant to be like, you know what? Nah, I ain't bringing you around my family just yet.
Yeah, that's exactly what would happen. That that's exactly what would happen. Like for real. You hit the nail dead on the head. Like when it's so funny because when I was in Florida, one of my I mean, like we are like this, but we're not together or nothing like that, right? So my homeboy, he was with me and we was on the couch watching something or whatever. My mom was like, "What y'all doing?" I said, "Oh, we on the couch watching TV." And da 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 da. She said, "But it's 12:30 in the morning." I said, and she was like, "Well, what he doing over there that late?" I said, "What you mean?" And I was like, so like I was kind of like thrown off, like, huh? What you mean? So my mom was like, well, it's 12:30. And I said, I know, but I don't understand what the problem is. She was like, well, he shouldn't be over there that late. And I said, well, why shouldn't he? And my mother was she was trying to be real sweet about it, but her brain thinks if a guy is at your house at 12:30 in the morning, it's something else going on. And I said, no, this is literally my friend. Like for real, for real. Like his girlfriend is on the phone with him right now. And my mama said, huh? She was like, what is going on with y'all lifestyles? Welcome into the lounge and Coffee's Corner. We are live on all social media with our talk show. And we are talking about when is it time for your person to meet your people? But and you're right, Taylor. Some I I don't have the answers on this one for real, because it's so many different ways that
Yeah.
encounter can go. But I do like how you said birthdays because birthdays are very platonic. So
Yes.
if I bring my person on my but here's the
But
thing.
but hold on.
If
It
that
depends.
person is what is it? PDA.
Oh no. Oh, you
If
guys
your
gonna
person is a PDA person,
oh look, you gonna have well, first of all, I mean, there's a lot of variation, right? If it's your birthday and you're the center of attention, which you are,
right?
right? It's your
Right.
birthday and you're out at a dinner, okay? And you have like kind of a head seat. Like if there's two seats at the head table, right?
Mhm.
And your man is sitting there, of course, everybody's gonna know that's your man, right? I mean,
Right.
we gotta have some kind of I know, I remember I mentioned this Coffee. I mentioned this, and somebody was like, oh, now I got to be strategic. Well, I think that we have to put some thought into things that we do, right?
Right.
You might not call it strategicness. I call it strategicness, right? I think that you have to know how your family, the type of family you're with, like the type of family that you have. So if you bring a guy, it don't matter who, around your dad or your mom or your uncle or whatever, and they automatically going to assume that that's your man, then maybe that's not the right place to bring them around, right? But I think that for the most part, you have Thanksgiving, you have Christmas, you have birthdays, right? I
Now,
think
wait a minute. Hold on, Taylor. Hold on. Now, the holidays is the most controversial time in family.
yes.
Now, if I don't roll up there with 5 people with me, I got to have 2, 3 dudes coming rolling with me. If I'm going to pull that off at Christmas and Thanksgiving, I got to bring a whole squad. If I'm going
No,
to pull it off at Christmas and Thanksgiving.
well, Christmas and Thanksgiving, people are coming through, right? Like your friends is gonna stop by and grab a plate and what have you, right?
No, no.
They don't do that.
Listen, Taylor. Your friends can stop by and grab a plate if they want to. But somebody gonna be suspect if they keep seeing this dude right here lingering the whole while you there, he's still there. Somebody gonna pick up on it.
No, 100%. But like I said, you can prep your family. Like we talk to our family. It's not like we just meeting everybody on
But
Christmas or
you
whatever.
can prep them all you want to. We people of color. Our families be acting a fool.
You know
We
what?
can sit them down, Taylor, have a whole session on behavior. How we gonna behave when said person comes for a visit? Said person A is coming for a visit, and we gonna sit. I want y'all to do dot 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 fist. And the minute the family gets together, what do? They act like they had no training before the person popped up.
That is true. I still think birthday is the best soft way of bringing somebody around your family.
But what about the intimate? What about the intimate concept where it's not an event? There's no event because okay, if it's an event, sometimes it can feel pressure. The
Okay.
person can feel some kind of pressure. But what if it's not an event and you just say, "Hey, I genuinely, I want you to meet the people that mean the most to me. Like my mom, my dad, my favorite siblings. So some of us, in big families, we only like two or three are our nine to 25 siblings that we got. So you thinking, Taylor?
No, I thought you froze. To be honest with you,
But no, I'm saying
okay.
like,
So yeah,
we
so
don't.
I think in that sense, we have a this is a whole different scenario. I think it's no different. And please hear me for all the viewers that are watching. I
Okay.
think it's no different when you're introducing your child to your significant to your the guy that you like or the guy that you already, because most people is already in a relationship before they introduce their kids to that person, which that's a whole nother conversation. We ain't gonna get that. That's a whole nother segment, right? But let's
Taylor, did
let's
you see
just
what Lisa said on here? Look and see what Lisa said. You see it?
yes.
So Lisa says, as a mother of boys, and you can speak to this, Taylor. As a mother of boys, I always tell mine that if you don't want to keep them, don't bring them home to your parents so quick. LOL, just saying. I feel like they use that as a foot in the door. What
Well,
do you
I mean,
think?
the thing is, we never specified. For some context, we never specified how long you're with this person. Because you could have been with this person you could be dating this person for 6 months to a year,
Well,
right?
she said short time. She said if you're not, but what she said
Well,
was basically don't bring them to the house if it's not somebody you don't intend on being with, long term.
I mean, let's just call it what it is, right? I think for the most part, I know there's people out there that just want to have fun and just they're just dating for fun. But for the most part, if you're dating intentional,
Hmm.
you want this person to be for the long haul. But we got a lot of single people, right? So that obviously something has happened, transpired within that relationship. So we don't know if it's gonna last. But granted, I respect what Lisa said. If you know that
Hmm.
you are not going to further this, is this person is just there for for time being or what have you, yeah, I get it. But if your family is cool, because I've met some cool family that don't
That's what
care.
I'm saying. If your family is one of them kind that they just welcome everybody, don't really matter,
Yeah,
And then too, another thing to think about too, Taylor, is what about the person that bring everybody home?
exactly.
They family don't take them serious anyway, so you literally just another visitor and don't know it.
Exactly. 100%. No.
Yeah, I met somebody, Taylor. He said to me, he said, "Oh, you should come meet my mom or something." I said, "What?"
Yeah.
And he was like, "Yeah, you should come meet my mom. She would love you. She would love your personality." Da 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 da. And so I remember we went to something with some of his people or whatever. And it wasn't really a traditional type gathering. It was something else that they were doing. And his mom was extremely welcoming. And she said to me directly, "Well, baby, you know you're not the only one he bring over here."
That month.
Taylor. And I was like, you know what? Yes, ma'am. I'm aware. And I didn't want to make myself seem like I was in the I don't know ministries. So I just played it off. I said, "Yes, ma'am, I know." And I sat there just poised and paused. I said, And when I left, when we got back we went to go get something to eat because I said, "I'm not eating at your mama. I don't know your mama." So, and I'm real funny about consuming stuff from random places or
Yeah.
whatever. And when we went to go get something to eat, I said, "Your mama told me you was a hoe." He said, "What?" He said, "What?" I said, your mama said you're for the streets. And he said, "What you mean?" I said, "Your mama said you bring all your heifers home." And he said, "My mother did not tell you that." I said, "Your mother told me directly that I'm not the only one that you bring home."
Mm.
And he was like, he said, "I sure wish you would have clarified that statement." And I said, "Well, she didn't clarify nothing. She just looked at me and said, you know, you ain't the only one that he bring home."
Wow.
And he said, "Well," and he didn't try to like justify what she said or try to make me disbelieve or believe or whatever. He didn't do any of that. He was just trying to process, like, "Ma, why would you?"
Why would you do
Yeah,
that?
like in his head, I could tell his wheels were spinning in his head, like, "Mom, why would you tell her something like this? You don't know what my intention is by her." Because he was saying, "I just want you to meet my mom." He was kind of gauging things to see if his mom would even like me. Because he was saying how his mom was like just not very receptive of people in time past or whatever. He's like, "But I really think she'll like you." And in her brain, she thinking, "Oh, he bringing her. Oh, so this another one of his little girlfriends. Oh, well, just so you know, you ain't the only one." I said, "Your mama said you for the streets." And he was just rolling laughing, but you could tell he was bewildered by the whole thing because his mom could have been a little more elegant, as far as how she divulged or just not saying nothing at all. Like, "How long have you known my son? How did you guys meet?" Just cordial, casual conversation like I have with my son's friend, whenever I initially meet somebody. "How long have y'all known each other? How'd you meet?" That, real generic. Cause I don't know this daughter. And with my daughter, I don't know the son. I don't know the son of man. I don't know the son. I don't know this man. I can't be saying crazy stuff to this child. And you
Yeah.
don't know what's gonna happen after that. You know what I'm saying? You don't know how that person is gonna feel. So now that person may feel like, "Oh, you trying to play me," or "I'm just another number to you," or something. And then it turns into a problem.
Yeah, it's almost like the mom is sabotaging that. Like this is problematic to me. Um, and I think if my mom was like that, we would have some serious conversations. Especially if I found out about it. I think that, and I don't care if she's my mom. We're going to have these conversations. Um, I think that one thing that I can say is that for me growing up, um, I brought females around my mom. And my mom understood that if I divulged to my mother that I really like her, she knew to pay attention to that one. If they wanted to come and grab something to eat or what have you, cool, no problem after school. And I was younger, right? And as I gotten
Mhm.
older, like it wasn't like, oh, I can't. If I bring you around my mom, you're the one. No, my mom knew that I would have to tell her that I'm interested in you, for her to even ask about you. My mom is not even going to ask about the person if she saw them at a family function, or at or if you stopped by my home because I went to grab something and I'm like, oh, this is my mother. But if I told my mom, if I had a one-on-one conversation with my mom and say, I really like this person, then my mom will start asking like 2 days, 3 days later, how is so and so?
Mhm, mhm.
But not every mother is like that.
But I love what you said about your mom. She responds the way that you initiate the information. So that way nobody gets offended. There's no issue with that person feeling some type of way about their encounter with your mom and things like that. So that I like that. And I'm that way. As far as I don't want to overstep my boundaries when it comes to my adult children and their friends, because
Right.
that's their friend. That's not my I don't have to deal with that person on a continuous basis. They're not consequently attached or connected to me at the point of that initial exchange. So I want them to have an enjoyable experience. So if they ever need to come back for some reason, they feel welcome and safe. But like I told my friend, I said, you're gonna have to have conversations with your mom. And I was talking smack to him, and I didn't, and he knew I was clowning with him. But I said, you're going to have conversations with your mom, because the minute when you decide, who you want to be with long term, your mom can't do this.
100%.
I'm saying? Because it's offensive, it's repulsive, and it's going to make somebody feel like, you don't really give a darn. You just bring everybody around your mama. And I said, that makes it seem like you don't have a standard,
Yep.
or you don't have, a level of integrity when it comes to you just putting anybody in your life in front of the most important person to you, which is your mom. And he was like, I didn't even think about it like that. I'm gonna have a conversation with her. I said, yeah, because the way she was talking about you for the streets. And
Wow.
he was like, I just can't believe she would do that. I said, because you haven't trained your mom. You
Absolutely.
haven't, you haven't, you haven't given your mom, the information for her to be able to know when she's supposed to say something, know when she's supposed to back off. Because parents need training too.
100%.
Because I know my mama, listen, that lady, she gets to asking questions, ma'am, no. So I have to tell my mom, listen, first of all, miss, don't ask that man no questions about me and him. That's the first thing. Secondly, I'm bringing him over here so you can get an opportunity to see a person of interest in my life. This is not meaning that that's getting ready to be my baby daddy and we got this long life ahead of us. I want you not to be feeling that way, okay? Just say hello and keep it cordial, ma'am. So now, Taylor, I don't bring nobody around my parents unless I know for sure, that it's gonna be something. Like even my ex, it was so funny. Um he was like, Am I ever gonna meet your parents? I said, probably not. And he said, why not? I said, because I know that you and I are gonna get married. We just kicking it.
Mm.
So, with us dating and doing, and living our best life like this, my parents would like you. And I knew it because he's a very likable type guy. And I said, my parents are gonna like you, and they're gonna ask me for the next 25 years, where you at? Even when I do marry somebody else's son, they're gonna be asking where you at. And I don't want them asking where you at for the next 25 years. Because that's exactly what they're gonna do. And he's like, well, I mean, but I don't understand. I said, I do. They not your parents, they my parents. I just want you to know they're my parents. They're not your parents, they're my parents. And they like specific kind of people. Your type, they like them because he's one of those kind of people. He would have went over there. Taylor would have went to my dad's garden with my dad, been out there helping him pull weeds, and my daddy would have been in love. And I would have been saying, I'm not gonna marry him. And he's not gonna be a son-in-law. He's just my boyfriend. And
Yeah.
my dad wouldn't understand how to divide the two. He would have been like, "Well, why are you with him if you're not gonna marry him?" Because I'm with him right now. I want to be with him right now. We good right now. We just know we're not good for 10 years from now. And
Right.
we both good with where we are right now. We good with this, situation that we decided we wanted to be involved in right now. But my parents wouldn't have been able to process that. And it wouldn't have been fair to them. you know now my other friend that I told you about before that was hanging out with me at 12:30 in the morning, my mom was tripping about. I took him to her house. Mama, this is my friend that I was up with at 12:30 in the morning.
Mhm.
So you'll know. So I want you to meet him, okay? And if you ever have an emergency and you need somebody to come pick you up, take you somewhere, call him. He'll come take care of you. Well, why you ain't? No, ma'am. That's the end of it. He is a friend. He is legitimately my friend. So, and he's trustworthy, he's loyal, and he'll definitely come over here and help you if y'all have an emergency or you can't get a ride. Because my dad's totally blind. So I'm like, if daddy can't get a ride or something, he'll come and take him
Mhm.
with no problem. He's my real friend. And my mother was like, I just don't understand y'all young people. I said, Ma, what is there to understand? He my friend. Well, he was at your house at 12:30 in the morning. I said, Mama, he done slept in the bed with me before. And you should have seen her whole face was contorted. She was
Oh,
like, how is that possible? I said, we're free, like for real, for real. So he fall asleep, he getting in the bed. My mom was like, in the bed with you? Yeah. She said, ain't that gonna happen? I said, nope.
nope.
And my mother just was looking at me like, I don't get it. And I told her that's why I don't bring nobody around y'all. Because you're trying to think about other stuff. Nobody asked you to think about nothing. This is what I'm sharing with you, and this is how it goes. But on the other hand, you know, whenever I make that decision to be with somebody, like the person I'm dating now, if I make a decision, say, okay, I believe that he and I are we're going to take this thing all the way across the finish line, whatever. I would definitely, like you said, do a soft intro, but I would do a more intimate, soft intro because I got some judgmental people in my family,
Mm,
very judgmental, and
yeah,
they gonna say some stuff.
and you got to make sure it's solid first.
I gotta prep the son of God for that,
Yep.
honey, because when I tell you they gonna go in on him, they gonna be bothering him.
Yeah, and you know what's so funny? I don't know why our families are like that. I get it. It's our family. They're overprotective, but I just it's our life and it's our decision, right?
Listen, so we thought, it was our life and it was our
Because
decision.
usually their lives is a hot mess, a hotter mess. But
Lisa said her sons would have definitely written her off. But I mean, I think the introduction to the parents and to the family, it needs to be calculated. It needs to happen
100.
after there's a decision. But who do you come to with? Yeah, that's true. When times get rough, mama for sure. I think it has to be a calculated decision. I think it has to be after an extended period of time where you've been with this person and you feel confident
Yep.
that no matter what happens between the two of you, that person will be a part of your future. Because, like you said earlier, we can't define the true definition of longevity when it comes to relationships. We don't know what's really going to happen when it comes to relationships. We have these hopes and aspirations and dreams, of being with this person for this extended period of time. And we really honestly do not know for sure if it's going to matriculate like that or not. However, when you have built a healthy relationship with somebody and they are really your friend and y'all been friends
Mm,
before you dove into that relational aspect, that person is going to be there. It's already a sure foundation that has been laid unless something, God forbid, tragically transpires between the two of you. But normally when you end up with your friend, a real legitimate friend that you've built a real friendship with, those relationships, even if they dissolve, the friendship stays intact. I've seen it time and time again when people build that thing right. Even if we say, you know what, we tried the relationship thing, it didn't work. The friendship is where we need to stay right where we were.
yep.
As we was good as friends, we're not good as anything else.
100%. And it
Right.
you know what? Some people can't even see that. Some people don't want to see that.
Yeah.
You know? And I think that, I've met some people where, you know, off the bat they're cool, like,
Mhm.
you're cool, like, I like your vibe, I like, even if this thing don't pan out to something serious or relationship, let's make an agreement now that we will remain friends. And it's worked.
And I mean, especially if it's somebody that you say, we are good together. Like, we got this chemistry. There's this major level of respect between the two of us. We have phenomenal conversations. It is a no judgment zone. Whatever we've ever said to each other, it's
Yep.
never been repeated. I've never had a situation where the person came back and just went in, well, you said that. And it's just real down home love, mutual love, mutual freedom, mutual respect. Those are the type of partnerships you want anyway.
And you could talk about each other future dating experience.
Listen. Or I mean, and then those kind of relationships, you're comfortable with having conversations about where the person was before the two of you got together. And it's not internalized
Mm-hmm.
to the point where it causes your relationship to have some level of dysfunction because now I'm internalizing everything you did before you crossed paths with me. No, that ain't got nothing to do with you. I didn't even know you back then. So if you really have become solid friends with somebody, you can have those amazing conversations with them and it never ever gets out of control to where you feel like, oh, now I gotta eat my words, or I can't say but so much. I
Yeah.
gotta walk on eggshells. I'm not sure if they're gonna repeat what I said and all that kind of craziness.
Man, I'm telling you, this conversation can last about a year.
For real.
One whole year.
Maybe 2 years.
Maybe 2 years, because there are so many things to talk about, so many different areas. And when it comes to family and introducing the person that you're with to them, and not even in a direct saying, hey, this is the person that I'm with, you just want to see how the atmosphere is, how they act. Like, I mean, a
With
lot.
no strings attached. I'm not bringing the person over here to be scrutinized by y'all. I'm just
Exactly.
looking to see how far I can take this with y'all in the middle of it. And
Absolutely.
you're right, Taylor. And I think it, you know, we have to be able to say, regardless of what my family says about this person that I've chosen to be with,
Hmm.
I'm gonna be with them anyway.
Mm, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Like my family is not going to be the deciding factor on who I love.
Absolutely.
I just want to include y'all. But if y'all don't want to be included, then no problem to be me and my person.
And my thing is this is what really bothers me.
Uh-oh.
Hey, I'm choosing my words. Is when, if the person that you're with didn't work out. Not anything bad. It's just like I said, you guys are on, maybe couldn't agree on a particular thing.
Hmm.
Your family member is so quick to say, I knew that wasn't going to work. Now, my question is this: so why didn't you pray for me that it does work? Like, why are you so hell bent on it's not going to work? Why is your energy so evil towards the person that I bring because of something that we didn't agree on, which they don't have a clue what happened, right? They don't have a clue.
Right.
But I knew he wasn't for her. Like, why does it have to be that way? If you're my family and you love me and you want the best for me, and this person is a decent person, then just because you might not like the person hairstyle or the person outfit, why not just be happy for me that I found somebody that I like?
Maybe they don't want you to find nobody that you like.
Bingo. That's a whole nother look. That's another series.
It is because, and sometimes depending on where your family is in their journey, you really can't gauge how they're going to respond to anybody you bring
Exactly.
because based on where they are in their specific journey, they just may be bitter. They may gone through something significantly negative with the person that they chose to be with. Now they got to watch you be happy, and they might not be able to handle your happiness.
Exactly. Now, if you bring, I'm not going to say the Obama, but a Obama to your house
Mhm.
and your
Mhm.
family still got something to say, then your family is completely on another planet.
They trash.
You need to
They
you
need to
need
be
to
put in the
move.
garbage can.
Oh man, that is
And
crazy.
it's crazy because Lisa said you have to see their people and decide whether or not you want to move forward. It tells a lot. Well, I will say this. This is what I say about that. Um, I had a family member who, and I'm glad you said that. I had a family member who ended up marrying this girl. Nobody wanted him to marry this chick. Nobody. Just didn't seem like it was going to be a healthy relationship.
Okay.
Here it is, 20 something years later. They still together. And you know what he said? He said, this is why at the end of the day, you have to decide your fate.
Yeah,
And you have to make the choice as to who you're gonna partner with, who you're gonna, stay with. Because at the end of the day, it's a leave and cleave situation. And you're not gonna
absolutely.
be there when the dust settles and the smoke clears, and you ain't got to sleep with them, you ain't got to eat with them, and you don't have to put up with them. And I told him, I said, you know what? I have the utmost respect for you because a lot of people would not have moved forward. They would have backed off and
Yep.
said, I'm not going to do this because my family said whatever, or my family don't like this person, and da 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 da. But he's still with that woman and it's 20 something years later.
Yep.
And they have a great marriage. But had he listened to his family, he would have missed out on his bride. A good woman.
You know what my mom told me? She said, "You're my son, and I want you to be happy. And anybody that you like, I like."
Period.
She said, "However, comma, I am going to ask if you are treating them right,
And
because
vice versa.
and vice versa. And if she's treating you right, and at the end of the day, if it doesn't work out, I'm still your mom. I'm still your mom.
And I'm gonna love you either way.
Either way." And so I am grateful that my mother pretty much stayed out of my business,
Mhm.
and even if she might not be too thrilled of a person that I'm talking to, she
Mhm.
keep it to herself. Thank
And
you.
see, and
Keep
that's
it.
so honorable. That's very honorable and very mature, that your mom gives you that respect and says, "You know what? I respect my son enough to not intrude in his decision to be with whoever he chooses to be with." That is very commendable because it's not a whole lot of mamas that do that.
100%.
There's plenty of
No
mamas that got something to say.
no influence from her, and I'm glad, because they have power to influence on your decisions.
Very much so.
And I think, well, like I said, my thing is this: if they're influencing on who you should end up with for the rest of your life, trust and believe they're influencing in other areas of your life. That's a whole nother conversation.
And that's and then another thing too, before you start taking somebody to your family, you got to know how much involvement their parents have in their life. You got to have invested enough time in this person to really get to know who you're dealing with because like you said, there are some people whose family, they don't make decisions independent of their family. Their family is heavily involved in their decision making, which in turn is going to present problems for somebody, like you, Taylor, or like me. I'm not.
I'm
Your mama,
out.
your mama not gonna be over here in my bed. Now you can talk to your mama outside my bed, but when you come up here in my bed, it's me, you, and this mattress, kind sir, and your mammy ain't got nothing to do with that. So, while I respect your mama don't get to dictate what happened over here between these sheets, sir. Respectfully,
Yeah,
respectfully, because I'm your mama grown, I'm grown too, and your mama don't do to you what I do to you. Okay, hello,
no, absolutely. I think if I was 17 years old, okay, I could understand.
possibly.
Yeah, I could understand. And at 17 years old, I was in the military. Like I was grown. Like, like, So I mean, there was a fine line. But I'm in my 40s now. Yo, your mom and dad ain't telling me nothing with this relationship, or else I gotta walk away and I will be fine.
Unless you run into somebody and you didn't realize that they had some what is it, undisclosed issues and challenges, and they got the kind of family that will warn you,
True,
say
100%. I
to
respect that.
say and not overstating, but giving you enough information to say this might not be what you want.
100%. I respect that.
Yeah, because
And
I had somebody mama who said, and it wasn't about me, it was one of my friends who was getting ready to cross over into a permanent partnership with this particular guy. And the mama said, "Oh no, babe, he ain't what you want. No, ma'am." And she asked her, she said, "Have you looked into his history?" And she was like, "What do you mean?" That she said, "Baby, my son has been arrested for domestic violence several times."
wow. Wow.
Several times. And she said, "As much as I love my son, I'm letting you know that my son has some violent issues that have not been resolved. And I
Mm,
do not want to see nobody else's daughter get harmed by my child." Because she was like, "He's charming, he's extremely handsome, he's extremely intelligent, so he knows exactly what he's doing. And sweetie, you're gonna be another one of his victims."
wow. Yeah, I mean,
And I said, now I told her, and she was really crushed behind, because the mom pulled us aside, and like how old school moms, they be in there cooking stuff. She was talking to us in the kitchen, so her son wasn't privy to the conversation.
right.
However, like I told my girlfriend, I said, "Let me tell you something. I got a lot of respect for this boy mama, because she literally just saved your life.
100%. Yes.
She told you to go do your own research. She didn't say take my word for it. She said she even asked you, had you done your research? And I said, why didn't you do the basics to find out about this dude? That's public. That's public records."
It is. No, 100%. Yeah.
He was like, "Well, I met him. When I met him, and he was so, I just can't believe." I said, "Baby, nobody can believe a killer is a killer till he kills."
You know what? This is so interesting.
She married him anyway, and they divorced.
There's there's a group. There's groups, excuse me, I shouldn't say a group. Groups on Facebook that if you're initially meeting a guy, you can dump that guy's picture in the group and ask, if we're dating the same guy, is he abusive? Is there
Yeah,
any
I've seen those groups.
Yeah, and those groups, let me tell you something. There's a lot of guys picture in there. Whether they're bad or good, it doesn't matter. They dump them in there.
They made the cut.
They made the cut. Look, they are famous in front of thousands of women, right? That sees that.
That's
Um,
the reason why, Taylor, anybody that I met on social media, I dated one person. And I said, I believe I won't do that twice.
yeah, it's out there.
It's out there bad. But I mean, even though my girlfriend went through that situation and she ended up marrying that guy, to this day she'll say stuff like, had I listened to his mom, I
Mm.
would have preserved my youth, and I would have been with somebody, in my youth that was for me. And I said, listen, a lot of times we don't listen because we didn't got that sausage in us, and that the thing was good, and we not thinking straight, and you're feeling like this lady is basically intruding, and she kind of don't want you in her son's life, and inside your mind you thinking that she got some kind of weird ulterior motive, and when clearly she told you to look it up. And I said, for you to go ahead and marry him anyway says to me that you didn't even look it up.
Yeah, no.
And I don't think they stayed married for maybe 24 months, maybe.
Mm.
And she had to go back to her and apologize. She said, I want to apologize to you because you gave me every tool to win, and I chose to lose because I didn't want to hear what you had to say at that time.
And most people choose to lose.
But I
So,
told her, I said, baby, he must got some good sausage, honey, because that sausage had your mind. You were so discombobulated that you just didn't want to hear nothing that kind lady had to say. And she clearly said, do your research.
yeah,
It wasn't one of those situations where the lady was trying to be facetious or not. That lady was sincere. And you could tell even by her demeanor when she divulged the information, you could tell the lady didn't have a motive behind it. She was just trying to help. She was like, I don't want nobody else to get hurt by my son. And I know that lady, it took a lot of courage for her to say that. You
100.
know, I would have been embarrassed and ashamed and everything else if my son was physically abusive towards anybody's daughter. I would be ashamed of that.
100.
However, this lady, even if she were ashamed, she still didn't want anybody else's daughter to be harmed. And that's commendable.
Yeah, that is commendable, and it's sad. I mean, it's nothing that the mother really can do unless he commits the act, right? I mean,
Right.
I think at that point, if you know that your son is a monster, your daughter's a monster, it's time. A lot of people's not gonna like what I say, but you got to tame hmm, that animal, right? And that's just what it is. It's a beast that's inside of them, that unleashes when something gets triggered, right? And you cannot have an individual like that, sorry to say this, into society unless they get the proper help.
That's
um
fair. I mean, what you're saying is fair. If the person doesn't get, and you're right, that goes for anybody
yeah,
to be honest with you, it goes for anybody because if a person has stuff that they, would cause harm to themselves
yeah,
or others, they need the proper support to be able to deal with those issues um that they got to deal with. And it sounds like a hard pill, but it's just reality. Some
yeah,
of us got some stuff going on to where we don't need to be exposing other people to those defects because it's dangerous and
100.
it's not healthy.
100%. I remember I was I got a question for you, and I don't mean to just ask you a question on the spot. Matter of fact, I'm not gonna ask you a question. I'm gonna share my thing. I remember I dated somebody. I was briefly talking to somebody back in 2007. And and it's like this person would say something to um like set me off in a way that I've never had that happen to me. I literally had to end that relationship. It was unhealthy. I've never felt this way. I mean, she never put her hands on me or do anything, but it's just we were just at each other. Like it was the chemistry. I don't know if it was the chemistry off. I don't know if it's the words, but it was so unhealthy. And I really liked her. Like, I can see how people stay in a situation like that, where you like this person so much, but they make you so angry. And I really feel that if I was to stay in that relationship, it would have turned ugly. And I'm glad that I was able to remove myself from that situation. I mean, she wasn't removing me. You know what I'm saying? And I'm
Mhm.
not saying that, I'm not saying anything on her. I'm just saying how that relationship ended is me taking myself away from that situation. Because it's not saying she was a horrible person and I had to run away. It wasn't nothing like that. It was just our interaction with each other. And like I said, she would say something, and it would just trigger me in a way that I've never felt by any woman in my entire life. And I'm telling you, Coffee, if I was to stay in that situation, I don't know what would have happened. And I'm just glad that I walked away.
Yeah. Yeah. Every situation is not, conducive to our health and our well-being and all that. Some of this stuff, we just need to release it and be like, "Okay, let me give you back to the universe so somebody else can get you." Hallelujah. Yeah, we have come to the end of another hour. These shows always go by so quick when Taylor and I get in the hot seat and start having these conversations about life and love and relationships and family. Today we were talking, we kind of got a little bit in depth about it, but we were talking about when is it time to introduce your significant other to your family. And there's so many different variables and dynamics around there. I would just recommend, I know Taylor can agree with me in this regard, use your good judgment. Use your good judgment and build something significant with a person to where it doesn't matter, how your family thinks or perceives them because you're such a good judge of character that you know that you've made a great decision for yourself and for your future. And that's what's important. Sometimes our family will not agree with our decision, but as I indicated earlier, I had a family member and he's still with old girl and it's 20 something years later. So sometimes, we can make an error in judgment because we don't know that person like you know them anyway. So we definitely appreciate you guys chiming in and tuning in. Make sure you're connecting with us on all social media platforms. Taylor's information is on the screen in 2 seconds as soon as I find the ticker. So Taylor's information is on the screen for you guys to be able to connect with him. Hit him up. He does some amazing coaching, phenomenal being, and it's always a pleasure to be in the building with him. So thank y'all so much for being a part of the conversation. And we will see you guys again on next week, God willing. And the creek don't rise, like they say out here in these Texas streets. So long as we're not swimming, we'll be here. Because we always got something going on with this weather in Texas.
Oh man.
Like for real, for real. So Taylor, thank you so much for
Thank you
being
for
with
having
us,
me.
my Canadian homeboy. I appreciate you being present with us each and every week for the segment. And all right, guys, until next time, grace, peace, and blessings. We'll see y'all again soon on
Bye.
another edition of the Hot Seat. Good night.